Alright YouTube, it's time for Mage talk. Let's talk about the general changes in patch 5.0.4. So let's get into the skills. First, Arcane Brilliance. I think this hasn't changed. It's the same thing. If it's a target, increases spell power 10%. I don't. Oh, and increases critical strike by 5%. I don't remember what the old one was, so I'm just gonna say it's the same, but it might not. You guys tell me in the comments. Conjure Refreshment is the same. Arcane Explosion has a really big range now, and there's a glyph that makes it even bigger. It's crazy. Conjure Refreshment Table, this has a 1 minute cooldown. I think the cooldown is the same, and it doesn't need any regens anymore, so you don't need to be buying regens for this. And it's a cast time, it's not like a group thing, so you can just cast it yourself anywhere. Like I can do it right here. I'll show you guys. Boop, 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 boop. Boop. There it is. See, you can right click it, so there is not even a need to do Conjure Refreshment because it has the same cast time, but that one gives you more. Okay, Blink is the same thing. Counter spell, it's counter spell plus improved counter spell together, and it's a base. It's base like that, so you don't actually have to spec or glyph or anything. It's normally a silence, a 4-second silence. Okay, Blizzard is the same thing. Deep Freeze is a base skill for any mage now. It's pretty crazy for any spec. It's pretty cool, and it doesn't DR Ring of Frost. I just found that out today. Cone of Cold, there is no more improved Cone of Cold in the game, so you can't get shatters off of Cone of Cold anymore. Evocation is the same thing. Yeah. Maybe it used to be a higher cooldown. I think it used to be a higher cooldown. Yeah, now it's just a base 2-minute cooldown. Conjure Mana Gem is the same, but I think it has more charges now. Holds up to 3 charges. No, it's the same. Fire Blast seems to be the same. It changes for fire though. It makes it so it's always a crit for fire, and it spreads dots, I think. Flame Strike is a cast time now, and even for fire, like you can't, and it looks cooler now. Look at it. It's like death. Invisibility, same thing. I think it used to be a 3-minute. Now it's a 5-minute cooldown. I'm not completely sure about that. I'm kind of new at Mage, so I'm not that sure about that one. Armors now, they're a little bit different than before, and they have a cast time, so you actually have to cast a frost armor. But there is a good thing to that. It doesn't have a time now. Like it lasts forever, so that's a pretty good thing. But what they do, frost armor increases your spell haste by 5%, and if an enemy strikes you, their movement speed is slowed by 30% for 5 seconds. So I'm pretty sure that's almost the same one than the old one. Mage Armor, there is not a glyph to make it so it gives you 20% mana per second. Not per second, I don't remember how much, but mana back, so you never run out of mana. It doesn't do that anymore, but increases your mastery by a lot, and the duration of all harmful magic effects against you are reduced by 35%. So I think that's the same thing than before. Frost Nova is the same thing. Mage Bomb, this Mage Bomb little button that they made is pretty cool because it's for your talents. When you choose your bomb right here in this tier, you're just gonna put it in that button instead of you having to drag it every time you change it. So they should do that for every tier. Actually, they should have a button for every tier, that way you don't have to be changing the freaking skill every time you change it. Frost Firebolt is the same thing. Mirror Images is the same thing. Ice Block is the same thing. Molten Armor increases your spell critical strike by 5%, so that stay the same. And this is the one that changed, I think. Reduces of physical damage taken by 6% instead of reducing the time of physical effects. I think that's what it was before. Iceland seems to be the same, but it has a base effect. Iceland's damage is quadrupled against frozen targets, so that's based now. Polymorph is the same. Portals and teleports don't any longer need regen, so that's pretty cool. Remove Curse is the same. Snowfall is the same. Spell Steal is the same. Time Warp is the same. Now everyone gets Burning Souls that reduces your casting time lost from damaging attacks by 70%. So that's pretty freaking cool. Like I said, improved counterspell is now a base skill that makes it so your counterspell also silences targets for 4 seconds. Nether Atonement. Your spell haste also increases your mana regeneration. This is pretty cool. And the amount of mana gained from mage spells. Like, I can't think of a spell right now that gives you mana. Maybe food? Maybe the mana jump? Possibly? Shatter. This is a really cool one. Shatter is now a base skill for every mage. So that makes sense since Deep Freeze is also a base skill for everyone. So Shatter, it doubles the critical strike chance on your spells against frozen targets plus an additional 50%. So it's pretty much you will always crit no matter what when you're hitting someone that's frozen. Wizardry increases your intellect by 5%, and I can't wait until Alter Time, and I'm not going to talk about it until it's available at level 87, probably level 90. I will show it. Let's get into the talents. Okay, so like I said in previous videos, I'm not going to choose any spec. I'm just showing the base stuff of the mage. So in the first tier we have Presence of Mind, Scorch, and Ice Flows. Presence of Mind will make your next mage spell casting less than 10 seconds become an instant cast effect. This means like Ring of Frost is gonna be instant. Frost you if you pick that. I don't know why you would, but what else? If you want, what is a cast time that you really want? Like for example, if you're you polymorph. Yes, polymorph. This is a very important one. You can have insta polymorph. You can have, if you're arcane, you can have an instant arcane shatter, like an arcane blast into an instant arcane blast, and possibly you can get a second one, and maybe you can do it with a Ring of Frost. That would be crazy. So yes, Presence of Mind is pretty good for arcane and frost, but I don't think for fire so much. Even some people have been telling me that yes, it's pretty good for fire. I don't think so. I think you need Scorch for fire. So Scorch is the next one that it's can be casted while moving. It takes really little mana, as you can see, and it's a 1.32 second cast, so it's pretty good. This is pretty much a must for fire, I believe, but not for the other ones, even though I did try arcane with Scorch and it seemed pretty smooth. So I might actually keep doing that until someone proves me that it's extremely the wrong way to go. But other than that, I don't know why Blizzard would put it in a talent if it's not worth taking. Well, they've done that with a couple talents anyway. So Ice Flows allows you to move while casting and channeling the next 2 mage spells that have a base cast or channel time less than 4 seconds. That means you can't do evocation. No evocation. This spell may be cast while a cast time spell is in progress. Wow. And is not on the global cooldown. So that's pretty cool. You can macro it, I guess. I don't know why anyone would take that instead of that. Maybe for like PvE. Probably when you're in a fight and then at one time you need to move really fast. That will work out really good actually. So yeah, for PvE is really good. But for PvP, Presence of Mind and Scorch are the way to go. And then second tier, Temporal Shield envelopes you in a temporal shield for 4 seconds. Damage taken while the shield will be healed back over 6 seconds. This spell is usable while stunned, frozen, incapacitated, fear, or asleep, and it's not on the global cooldown. So this is a really cool spell to do it at the right time. It's a really good little cooldown, but Ice Barrier is just so overpowered compared to that. So Ice Barrier is the same thing than before, but it absorbs so much more damage and is scaled with your spell power. I believe it's scaled with your spell power. So it's so powerful, but it can be dispelled. That's the thing, it can be dispelled. So if you're against someone that's really good and they have a dispel, they're probably gonna dispel it before doing any kind of damage to you. So you have to keep that in mind. This one is dispellable. I'm not sure about Temporal Shield because I haven't tried it, but it sounds really cool to use it as a cooldown in the right time. Blazing speed. If they kept the old blazing speed, I would have taken this. I would have tried it out, but I haven't even tried it out just because it's an extra button and it's a sprint. Like, when do mages need a sprint? Like, yeah, it was cool when it was like a passive ability, but as an active ability, I don't like it, even though it breaks. I think it breaks stuff. Let's read it. Suppresses movement, slowing effects, and increases your movement speed by 150% for 1.5 seconds. That's 1.5 seconds. That's not even a lot. May only be active after taking a melee or spell hit greater than 2% of the total health. So it's not even like a fully active skill. Like, it has to be toggled by something else, or after you kill an enemy that yields experience of honor. That's weird. Why would they add that right there? This spells may be cast while a cast time spell is in progress, so another spell like this, and it's not on the global cooldown. So yeah, I guess no, I don't like it. Okay, now in the level 45 tier we have Ring of Frost, Ice Ward, and Frost John. Let me just tell you, Ring of Frost is the only way I would ever go for, unless I'm questing. Maybe if I'm questing, I will pick Ice Ward for like a leveling build, but for everything else, Ring of Frost, because okay, Ring of Frost and Frost Jaw only have a 10-second cooldown difference, and the cast time is only a little bit higher on Ring of Frost, and they changed that because it used to be the same. Okay, and Ring of Frost is a full on CC, and Frost Jaw is a root with a silence combined, and it's a single target. So I think Ring of Frost is the way to go no matter what. Like, Ring of Frost, you can go around the corner and then Ring of Frost someplace so they can interrupt you, and then they will be frozen when they get to you. I actually have a video of me doing something like that with the Ring of Frost. So the Ring of Frost is the way to go in level 45 tier for sure, or Ice War maybe if you're for a leveling build, something like that. I don't know, you guys tell me, how would you use Frost Jaw over the other ones? How would you use it better than Ring of Frost and Ice One? How would it be better for you guys? Because I can't think of a way of it being better for me. Then level 60 tier is pretty much kind of the same thing than the tier before. There's only one that I want to use, which is Cold Snap. This is in a 3-minute cooldown. Restores 30% of your health, but this spell, when activated, this spell finishes the cooldown on your Ice Block, Frost Nova, and Cold spells. So the key spell right here is Ice Block. So not only it restores 30% of your health, but it also resets the cooldown on Ice Block. That means you can have 2 blocks. So this is such a powerful defensive ability that the other ones look like dirt, even though the other ones are really good too. For example, Great Invisibility instantly makes the caster invisible, so it's an instant invisibility, reducing all threat and removing 2 damage over time effects. So you can use this very smartly. Okay, while invisible, you are untargetable by enemies. Last 20 seconds. Invisibility is cancelled if you perform any action. So just like before. Damage taken is reduced by 90% when invisibility, while invisible, sorry, and for 3 seconds after coming out of invisibility. That's the good part. It's like it could even be used as a cheat death kind of skill. So it's really powerful, but since Cold Snap is so powerful, so much stronger because the double block and the 30% health, it's crazy. I mean, think of it this way: you can block, Cold Snap, get away, and you can evocate, which is a 45% of your health, and you can be 100% health again. I've done it tons of times, so that's powerful. Then Color Eyes, I think that the 2 minute on Color Eyes is a little bit too high. It should be a 1 minute. But yeah, if you're dying more often than that, that's kind of shitty. Actually, you should probably not be playing a mage or get more gear. An attack which would otherwise kill you will instead bring you to 50% of your maximum health, and you will burn for 40% of your maximum health over 6 seconds. So it's not like the one before that it will kill you. It will actually leave you at 10% health, and if you have a healer, of course, it will put you up. Still, it doesn't compete with Cold Snap. Both of this, maybe Color Eyes competes with Great Invisibility, but not with Cold Snap. The next tier is the tier that I'm kind of like, I don't know what to pick. I normally just pick Nether Tempest for Arcane, Living Bomb for Fire, and Frost Bomb for Frost, even though I don't play Frost. So I don't play Frost, so I can't say that. But Frost Bomb, I have picked it for Fire, and I don't think it's good at all for Fire. I still like Living Bomb better. So I don't know what to pick on each one of these, and they do pretty similar damage, just different mechanics. What I don't like about Frost Bomb is that it has a cooldown and a cast time at the same time. It's different from Living Bomb, it's an instant not cooldown, and same thing with Nether Tempest. So if this either didn't have a cast time or didn't have a cooldown, it will be amazing. But other than that, Living Bomb for Fire, Another Tempest for Arcane for me, and yep, that's it. Let's get to glyphs before this video gets too long. Here is the glyphs I'm talking about. Arcane Explosion, 5 yards radius increase. This is crazy for duels when you want to get when you don't want a rogue to get you sapped, because they won't be able to get close to you at all, trust me. Okay, Arcane Power increases the duration and cooldown of Arcane Power by 100%, so that's pretty good for good burst. Blink increases the distance you travel with Blink by 5 yards. I don't think that's that worth using, but Deep Freeze is, because it takes it out of your global cooldown, so that's really good to get some really good to get Deep Freeze down, because like for example with Fire, your Frost Nova will break really fast because all your dots, if you have all your dots up. And for example, if you're Arcane and you or whatever and you're using Nether Tempest will actually break it really fast. So not having Deep Freeze on a cooldown, you're gonna be able to Frost Nova someone and Deep Freeze almost instantly, that way it won't break. Evocation, this is pretty much a must for PvP. It also gives you 60% health back while you're evocating. Fire Blast and Inferno Blast now spread Living Bomb. I was thinking of using this, but since Living Bomb, I think Living Bomb still has a limit of target. Yeah, it still has a limit of 3 targets, so it's not that worth it. Frost Nova, I've been using this actually, reduces the cooldown of Frost Nova by 5 seconds. Icelands, your Iceland also hit 1 additional target for 50% of damage. That means you can get a shatter in 2 people if they're by each other. Mana Gem, your Conjure Mana Gem spell now creates a Brilliant Mana Gem which holds up to 10 charges. Like, this is what I was talking about in other videos. Like, there's some glyphs that they need to be minor glyphs. Like, I don't know why you would pick this glyph over like any of other the really good glyphs that they have. This should be a minor glyph. Polymorph, your Polymorph spell also removes all damage time effects from the target. This is really good to get good CC down. So I'm probably gonna use this. I'm really debating if I'm gonna use this or not. I'm probably remove curse increases the damage you deal by 10% for 10 seconds until you successfully remove curse. This used to be different. It used to heal you for 3%. Oh no, that's spell steal. That's the next one. So increase your. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. Spell steal now also heals you for 3% of your maximum health when it successfully steals a spell. So that's pretty cool. So if you can be spam stealing healing spells and also be healing yourself. Armors, there is a cast time of armors. If you want to switch armors back and forth, I guess that could be worth it, but I don't see it. Combustion increases direct damage and the duration of damage over time effect and the cooldown of combustion by 100%. The thing is that combustion is also stun. It's a 3-second stun right now, so and it's a 45-second cooldown. So I'd rather keep it like that for now until I need this. Until I think I will need more burst. Cone of Cold increases damage on Cone of Cold by 200%. I don't know why would they do this instead of bringing back the old Cone of Cold. I guess it would be too overpowered. Counter spell is a stupid one. Your counter spell can now be cast while casting or channeling another spell, but its cooldown is increased by 4 seconds. I mean, why? I don't know. Nah, whatever. Reduces the cast time of Frost Fire Bolt by 0.5 seconds. This reminds me, I have an idea of like playing a mage with no spec at all, and my only hard cast spell that I will use would be Frost Firebolt, and I'm thinking of getting this glyph and trying that out and see how that'll be. That'll be fun that'll be fun, I think. It's not reliable, just to have some fun. When Ice Block terminates, it triggers instant free Frost Nova, and it makes you immune to all spells for 3 seconds. The last part is new. Yeah, so that's kind of better now since that last part. Cool, I might actually take that. Icy Veins. Your Icy Veins causes your Frost Bolt, Frost Fireball, Ice Lance, and your Water Elemental's Water Ball spells to split into 3 smaller bolts that each do 40% damage instead of increasing spell casting speed. Wow, that's powerful, because we're talking about 40% times 3, that's 120%, so that's a 20% extra damage on each of those spells, meaning that if you Ice Lance on a frozen target, you're gonna crit those 3 spells. So that's pretty powerful. That's for sure a base 20% damage increase. A Glyph of Invisibility increases your movement speed while invisible by 40%. See, that should be a minor too, I think. Slow. Your Arcane Blast spells applies the slow spell to any target that it damages. So this is like the old passive for Arcane, but I don't think Arcane does more damage to slow targets anymore. I'm not sure about that. I'm gonna have to reread that or refind it. Glyph of Water Elemental increases the health of your Water Elemental by 40% and allows it to cast while moving. Now that's really cool. When in assist mode and in combat, commanding your Water Elemental to follow will cause it to stay near you and auto-cast Water Bolt when your target is in range. Wow, that's good. That's a good glyph for pet management right there. Okay, so that's it for the major glyphs, and I'm not gonna go through the minor glyphs. I'm gonna let you guys go through them because they're pretty fun. There's some pretty fun ones there in the Mage one too. So that's it for this video too. So I hope you liked it. I hope it helped you, and don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, subscribe. Until the next one, good hunting.